All right.
Oh, it's a security camera and everything, man.
Actually, it's a podcast camera, but I also use it as a security and
That's a good idea.
Accountability, because some people claim that they didn't take the ride.
Oh, really?
Well, just because a lot of times I pick passengers up. I was explaining to the gentleman I just dropped off. Picked a gentleman up who was extremely intoxicated. Basically passed out during the ride. Next day, $78 ride. Next day called in, said he didn't remember taking an Uber. They gave him the money back. Well, luckily, this had run out of battery, so I had used my cell phone to film him getting out and jumping over his gate to try to get the motion sensor to open the gate in his community, because he forgot his thing. And I have him doing jumping jacks in front of the motion sensor, doing backflips and cartwheels, and I sent that to Uber, and they put the money right back in my account. Now, had I not had that, I would have to justify it and explain exactly what happened, and so yeah.
And
but
weeks later, maybe.
Yeah. The thing is, I'll only use I usually use my phone to record it, because I can send it directly from my phone. This is, I would have to go through my computer and take it off and then send it to them. But no, this is, I own my own antique and jewelry business. Let me see if there's anything. I just picked him up. I didn't get a ticket or anything. I didn't even know you were supposed to get a ticket.
Turn right onto Access Road, then turn right onto Southeast.
Yeah, I got a lot of interesting stories. People tell me the craziest things.
I tell you, but my experience with Uber has been just 100%.
I mean, there's no other option, is there?
Well, there is.
Well, Lyft.
Yeah.
Have you ever? I work for Lyft too. Have you ever tried Lyft?
No.
Lyft is actually a lot. I would say for a passenger, if you've had 100% good experience with Uber, then you're gonna have 120% good experience with Lyft, because with Uber, all you have to do is take a picture of your license, registration, and insurance and send it to them. They do their background check, you're approved, go drive. And a vehicle inspection, which is basically lights and tires, make sure that works. Lyft, you actually have to, this is the Lyft app, you actually have to meet a mentor that met a certain amount of ride requirements and knows what they're doing. They have to check you out, make sure your car is fine, same car you say you're driving, that you're the same person. And when I took my mentor session, the guy failed me. Because they're supposed to meet you at your house. He was at the casino gambling, and he asked me to meet him at the casino. And I said, well, isn't it supposed to be at my house? He said, no, I'm playing poker, just meet me at the casino and we'll do it. So I pulled in the casino, and he's like, no, come around to the side where the poker room is and the pottery barn and whatever. So I went there, and they're supposed to tell you exactly what to do, like, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do that. His first question to me was, because they always ask, well, do you work for Uber? Yeah, I work for Uber too. He's like, I used to work for Uber. He's like, do you ever have sex with any girls? Yeah. That's his first question to me. So I said, what kind of I said, is that part of the application? Like, is that a requisite to work for Lyft? That I have, that I have to have had sex with an Uber passenger? I don't understand. And he was like, no, don't worry about it. He's like, I used to get all types of girls, blah, 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 and, just trying to brag. And I was like, well, can we kind of get this, moving along? I have a few things I have to do. And he just failed me, and I had already been working for Uber, which is non-stop, ride after ride. So I sent Lyft a message, an email saying, listen, I don't have to work for your company. I said, it would be a privilege for you guys to have me as a driver. I said, I'm fluent in 3 languages. I said, I'm extremely nice. I'm always upbeat and positive. I don't drink alcohol. All of this stuff. I have a nicer car. I do Uber luxury most of the time. And I said, I know the city. I was born and raised in Miami. I said, it doesn't matter if I work for you now. I said, but you have to understand that this mentor you have is a degenerate gambler, and womanizer. And they sent me an email back saying, "Congratulations, you passed your mentor session." After he failed me. They basically bypassed his word, and they fired him, I think. But they do make sure that, you know, the drivers are 100%. Where are you from, if you don't mind?
Alabama. Fairhope, Alabama.
They have Uber there, I'm assuming?
No.
They don't?
No, I don't think I will.
Huh.
I don't know whether they have it in Mobile or not. Fairhope's a little small town.
Yeah, no, I figured
15,
that. I
20
figured it
miles.
was smaller. Yeah, Mobile. I mean, I'm just wondering if Alabama, the state, allowed Uber, because I think it's a state
I think
thing.
so. No,
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
think so. It's a local, because the Uber just pulled out of Orange Beach. Orange Beach had some ordinances and I guess pressure from the local cab people, and got the city to,
Well,
I don't know what they did.
they hate us. I've had 3 nails in my tires from cab drivers putting them. I've been yelled at by cabs. You know, they just they don't like it. And I say, well, why don't you do it? You know how easy it is to like become an Uber driver nowadays. You know, save up. If a cab saves up his fare money for a week, that's a down payment on a Kia or a little Ford hybrid like this. You pay $79 a month. With Uber, you can make that on a good night in an hour. You know, and you have your car payment. So there's no excuse why you keep working for the cab company.
It's a mentality.
I mean, there's one gentleman who owns 3 of the cab companies here in South Florida, the biggest ones. The yellow cab, you know, the white cab, whatever. And he's fighting, you know, to get Uber out. But there's only so much money that one man can give the government, you know. But Uber is a powerhouse now. So it's like he gives them $10, we give them 20. He gives them 30, we give them 50. You know, so that's literally why, you know, they banned it here in Broward for a while. Uber was gone, completely gone from Broward, and then all of a sudden, just one day, it was back. So
Just follow the money.
yeah. Here's the only bad thing for drivers: they have absolutely no phone number for Lyft or Uber customer service. It's all by chat.
Oh yeah.
And it's already outsourced. So just the way they write their English, you can tell it's either in India or the Philippines. So you're speaking with someone that every other sentence or every other phrase they say is, "I understand how you feel." No, you have absolutely no idea how I feel. Because there's a lot of glitches, you know. Thankfully, for most of them, I haven't been working. I've been sleeping and wake up to a message saying, "We're sorry for the glitch last night." You know, we're still working the kinks out with the application on the phone for the drivers. But yeah, everything's been good on my end, except for one night, my car got stuck on the application in one location. So say I went in to pull into your hotel, the glitch held my car in that location. So when I drop you at the airport, it would beep, and it would be someone right around here, and I'd be like, well, my car is stuck on the GPS at that hotel where I picked the gentleman up. All night they were trying to fix it for me, and they couldn't fix it. So I mean, I was on South Beach, which is 40 miles away, 30 miles away, and getting, you know, beeps around here. And I'm like, I can't go 40 miles to drive a guy 6 blocks, you know? So that was the only problem I've ever really had. And then, you know, a lot of people ask about, well, you know, I've seen all these things about, you know, crazy Uber experiences, and I was like, well, that's usually the passenger being crazy, you know? There was that one driver, I guess, in Michigan or something like that, went on a shooting spree. Did you see that?
Well, I heard on the news this morning that he's suing Uber.
The guy's nuts, first of all.
Yeah, right.
Second of all, he didn't hurt one of his Uber passengers.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
He picked up Uber people, and did you hear? This is what amazed me. One of the kids was gonna walk, heard there was a killer out on the loose, ordered an Uber, and the guy picked him up.
Yeah.
And the kid said to him, "You're not the killer, are you?" And the guy says, "No." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I know." And he took him, and he didn't know he was driving with the actual guy that he was trying to avoid by taking an Uber. So I just thought that was so ironic and hilarious that, you know, he actually drove in the car, and how lucky he was. You know, he didn't know at the time. I don't know how people snap like that. You know, it doesn't make much sense to me. But then again, I try to stay pretty positive about everything. Life's short.
That's true.
I lost both my parents, you know. My dad when I was 29 and my mom last year. Cancer, it's brutal. It's fast, it's swift, and it ruins everything. And
sometimes it's not as fast and swift as it should be.
yeah. Well, from my experience, with my mom, it was a little bit more, you know, more torturous for her. My dad went crazy. I didn't see my dad before he passed. He went to Argentina to get a checkup because he had a cough, and they told him he had stage 4 lung cancer, and he was gone within a week. I didn't even get to see him. My mom, ovarian cancer. She had surgery. 2 years later, it came back. She didn't want to do the chemo and everything again. So, but through that, I've stayed really positive. You know, I understand this is life. This is how things are. You know, my brother took it a lot worse. He moved to Colorado. I haven't heard from him since. But that's why I just try to do. You know, that's why I work for a company like Uber, because if I don't want to give any more rides, I can just go offline. Go to the beach, lay on the beach, you know, go wherever I want. I actually own an antique and jewelry business, so that lets me do pretty much free schedule as well.
So you have somebody that watches that for you during the day?
Well, I have a store with a business partner of mine in Argentina. I lived there for 5 years. My father was from Argentina, and he pretty much runs it. I just deal in higher end pieces, so I don't get a huge quantity of antiques at one time. I just typically deal in.
One of my best naval architecture professors was an Argentinian fellow.
Really?
Emilio M. D'Arcangelo.
Huh.
Really a neat guy.
Are you an architect?
I'm a naval architect.
A naval architect. Now, what does that entail?
It's just designing things that float.
Oh,
as opposed
design
to
ships.
Buildings and stuff.
Wow. That is very interesting. Huh.
But Dark was a cool guy. He was a bald-headed guy, wore a toupee, and his wife passed away while I was at Michigan. So I guess,
wait, you were in Michigan?
Yeah, I went to the University of Michigan.
That's where my mom lived. My mom lived. She actually worked at Eisenhower Center. I don't know if you know where that is. Eisenhower, and she worked at Michigan, the hospital too. My mom lived like 3 blocks from the stadium.
Is that right?
On Eisenhower Parkway.
Oh yeah.
I used to go to Ann Arbor all the time and go to Zimmerman's, and you know, I love Ann Arbor. Yeah, she passed away in Ann Arbor Hospice. Yeah, I know that place really well. My ex-girlfriend is from there as well. Her parents lived there. Now she moved to California, but yeah, that school is amazing. I mean, just enormous. I love the town. It's
a great place. I mean, it's like almost a fantasy world.
Yeah, it's super. It's so safe too. It feels everywhere you go. It just feels like. Yep. I mean, you could tape $100,000 to your forehead and walk around, and nobody would bother you. It's just it feels so nice to be there. But it's like if you're not studying, or if you don't work at the hospital, there's not a lot of other opportunities, in Ann Arbor. That I noticed, at least.
Well, Well, there are a few naval architects that still hang around up there, just simply because of the tow tank and the university, the department.
Yeah.
They get commercial work. But,
Well, I'm assuming that's a job that takes extreme amount of skill and a lot of studying. But after you're done with school, you could pretty much do it from anywhere that they have your equipment and stuff, and then send your work, to whoever you need to. Wow, that's extremely interesting. I would love to. Now, pardon my ignorance, but I don't know anything about architecture whatsoever. Do you actually do the drawings? Are they on computers? Are you using?
Yeah, it's an engineering trade, so you have to take basic engineering courses, physics and thermo and calculus and all that kind of stuff. So it's the same basic curriculum as civil engineering or mechanical engineering, except you just focus on hydrodynamics and things that float.
Wow.
That type of stuff.
And are you making the actual models too?
Oh yeah. Well, we model. When we design the ship, a lot of times we'll model the ship 3D.
See, those are the things that interest me the most. I would love to get a hold of, and especially a naval architect's model. What do they do with those after everything's done?
Usually you break it up into little pieces and you put it on a drawing, and that's what the shipyard uses to build it.
Ah.
So there's a lot of curved plate that you expand so that it can be cut on the burning machine, numerically controlled burning machine.
Wow. I don't know if he was an architect, but I knew a gentleman that designed speedboats. So he just made the design, but he would make it, like the actual model for a speedboat. He wouldn't actually do any drawings or anything, but he would carve out, different shapes, or different I don't even know how to describe it, but it was amazing the amount of extremely detailed modeled speedboats that he had made that actually were on the water. It was incredible. In his house, he'd have them in glass showcases after he made them. He used some of
There's
this
a lot of people
art.
that make a business out of that. Over here in Sea Trade, they have models that are, 10 feet long of these cruise ships.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that interests me the most. Like, first of all, where do you get the materials to do that kind of stuff?
Well, a lot of it is just plastics, nowadays.
Well, there's some sort of, he uses some sort of, what's it called? I wouldn't call it, I guess it would be like a styrofoam, but not really, that he carves with like this tool. What is that called? It's like a foam, but it's real hard.
I guess there are a lot of different foams. I don't know what you would.
Yeah, that's what he would use, and then he would put metal pieces into it to harden the structure. But it's just amazing. I couldn't believe it. What was the airline?
Delta.
Delta. All right. Number 1. Number 2. Yeah. Number 2. Well. Architecture. That's amazing. Do you do submarines as well?
No.
Only things that float, not things that sink.
Well, no. Well, we've done some diving bells, so they sink.
Now, who would specialize in submarine architecture?
Mainly the government.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because that's all like top secret stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we don't do any cruise ships at all. All of our stuff is commercial. So we don't. I decided that 35 years ago. I interviewed at some of the Navy shipyards. Yeah, I don't know, just when you're young, it just kind of turned me off, and I just
Yeah.
designed
take it since you've been doing it this long that you love it.
Well, yeah.
You gotta love your job to be doing it.
Yeah. It's nice people to deal with, smart people.
I bet.
It's enjoyable.
Kind of the opposite of Uber at midnight.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I usually do it on South Beach, so I mean, even if they are smart people, they're really drunk at the time, so they don't sound very smart. They say, right.
You can't even get out where they're going.
Yeah. So, I'm a rocket surgeon. You're like, what? Brain, whatever. You're like, okay. Alrighty.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Yep. Put this bag out here. You have a safe flight. Alright.